Hey, Todd Martin here with The Walking Code. The way you walk can tell people a lot about your personality. Are you confident or timid? Are you open or are you closed off? There's also walking styles that are particularly masculine and those that are particularly feminine. In this video, I'm going to focus in on a specific masculine walking style that you can see in certain actors. I've had a lot of interest expressed from many of my viewers in India who wanted me to explain the walking styles of some of their masculine actors, such as Sanjay Dutt, who I already did a previous video on, and now Salman Khan. Now Salman Khan and Sanjay Dutt have a pretty similar masculine walking style, and because it is so distinctive, and we also see it in some male actors here in the United States, I wanted to go back and analyze it a little bit closer. If you know how to move your body really well, you can switch up your walking style depending on the type of impression you're trying to give off. As a doctor, I am not recommending people switch up their walking style routinely because there is a particular sort of walk that is the healthy way to keep your spine and other joints aligned. When you try to switch up your walk to try to project a specific persona, you may be inadvertently causing some misalignments in your spine and other joints that could cause harm if you do it on a regular basis. Before I get into the masculine walk of Sanjay Dutt and Salman Khan, first I'm going to just show the basic normal walk that most people do, which is considered a neutral walk and is actually the most healthy way to keep your joints aligned. In this walk, we're keeping our spine vertical, we have very little movement of the shoulders, and we don't have a lot of side-to-side movement in the hips. The pelvis is also in a neutral position, not either rotated back or rotated forward. The feet are going to be facing straight forward and moving in a direct path. This is the normal way people should walk to keep the spine properly aligned. Women often change their walk from this neutral style to a feminine style with the hips moving side to side when they're trying to project that feminine air. Now, this actually causes some misalignment in the spine because you can see all of this action happening down here, which is not a straight vertical spine, which is the ideal. So I'm not saying that women shouldn't do that when they go out to a club or some other situation, but it's not really the normal way somebody should walk to keep the spine aligned. So you should be aware of that when you're walking with that style. The Salman Khan and Sanjay Dutt walk looks like this. Side tilt of the shoulders as they walk this way. And the other thing I want you to notice is the slower speed compared to normal walking. And another thing that you're going to notice is that the palms, instead of being facing the side of the thighs like they do in a normal walk, where you also don't see a lot of side-to-side tilt, when you watch these two actors walk, you'll notice that their palms are facing back. That rotation of the palms is controlled by the rotation of the core that also controls the movement of our legs. Always keep in mind that how your legs and arms move are controlled by what you do in your core. And so the pattern that you use in the core is going to reflect in these other joints. And in the case of the masculine walking style like this backwards rotation of the shoulder joints can, in the long run, result in some rotator cuff problems. So for those of you who are going to try to imitate the Salman Khan Sanjay Dutt walk, be aware that this could put some strain on your shoulders. The arm should be turned out this way with an open shoulder, not rotated in with a closed off shoulder. I just had to put my medical perspective out there before getting into the details of how to do this Sanjay Dutt Salman Khan masculine walking style. Let me explain what's going on. In a normal walk, what's happening is we are driving the body straight forward using rotation from the upper part of the waist. As I place my heel, I do that by rotating forward on the left to place my left heel. That drives the body forward. As I swing through, I place my right heel by driving straight forward with the right side of my upper waist. This gets the motion going in a straight forward movement, just like this. After I place my heel, what I'm doing is using my lower abs, which rotate the pelvis, to tuck under and shift the body forward. This keeps the body moving in a straight forward direction. It looks like I'm facing the camera, which I am, but what I'm doing is combining a rotation clockwise with the upper part of the waist and a rotation counterclockwise with the lower part of the waist. That's what determines this straightforward movement. And then as I take my next step, I have a counterclockwise rotation of the upper part of the waist, a clockwise rotation of the lower part of the waist, and then I swing through using the hips. And it's these combined rotations that keeps me moving directly forward towards the camera. And because I am moving forward with the upper part of the waist first, that movement towards the camera is going to be relatively quick. For actors, if they're trying to slow their movement towards the camera down, there's only a couple ways they can do that. One is to rotate slower, and that becomes very awkward and difficult if you're trying to walk very slowly like that. So what they're doing to slow themselves down is, instead of driving forward with the rotation of the upper part of the waist, what they're using is the lower abs to place the heel without that forward drive, and then they're rotating forward from the upper part of the waist. You're going to see this most often with people who walk with duck feet. They're going to place the heel with the lower abs, then rotate the upper waist, and then what they're going to do is swing through with the hip on the opposite side. And this is what that's going to look like. It's a very slow and relaxed walk that you're going to see people walking in flip-flops do all the time. Go to the beach and check it out, or sometimes you'll see people walking down the street in the city in flip-flops, and they will almost always be walking with their feet turned out. Actor Idris Elba is one of the more famous people you'll see walking with this type of foot turnout, a clear sign that it's not being caused by muscle weakness, which is a commonly used explanation for duck feet. It's because they're using their lower abs to place, rotating out, then turning, placing like that. It's a totally different pattern of movement, and it's actually quite unhealthy because when your feet are turned out, all of the weight is going to be driving through the inside of the knee and the inside of the foot, keeping the weight distribution not properly aligned. That's going to wear out your knees, also it's going to wear out your hips, and it's going to cause your arches ultimately to collapse. Salman Khan and Sanjay Dutt are using a similar pattern of movement, placing with the lower abs, then turning, but then what they're doing is adding a little twist of the upper part of the waist that keeps them moving forward. So this actually corrects the feet into the right position, so they're facing directly forward. I am not recommending anybody go out there and try to adopt this walking style because even if it looks more masculine, it's going to cause problems with your shoulders in the long run. And the ultimate purpose of walking is to get places you need to go and do that in the healthiest manner possible. And so I advocate people always use the normal pattern of walking, turning forward with the upper part of the waist, tucking with the lower part of the waist, and then swinging through. I refer to this as turn, tuck, lift. That's the pattern we should be using when we're walking normally. That's going to keep our spine properly aligned, keep our head vertical, gazing forward, keep the feet lined up, and keep the pelvis in the right alignment, not tipped forward and not tipped backwards. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you have clicked the like button and subscribe to the channel, and get out there and walk.